Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Floating head posters. Let's get straight into it and talk about it. I feel like there's a really big problem within the creative landscape today, where I feel like a lot of people have started to focus a lot less on being actual decent creatives and instead just do lazy work and try to pass it off as more chaos looks better. And I don't really understand why that's even a thing, because in the creative space, I think one of the most common quotes is less is more. But I don't think a lot of people really think that that's actually the case anymore. I've been finding that when I've been looking at some old posters for movies, right, that there is a very strong difference between how good a poster is and how chaotic or how much is actually going on in the poster to begin with. There really are some posters out there that just come across as being such annoying variations of what the movie actually is about. A picture paints 1,000 words, yada, yada, yada. I feel like recently, a lot of people tried to showcase way too much that's going on for something, whether it's in a trailer for a film or just in a movie poster. To help you guys kind of see where I'm coming from, I'm gonna put two posters on the screen right now. They're both posters from the Spider-Man Homecoming movie, right? The first one, with the terrible use of floating head and composition, is the one that was marketed as the main poster for the movie. See, there are a lot of problems with this poster to begin with, and we could go into all kinds of depth about why, but I'm just gonna say it very simply. The floating head is just there to show who's in the movie. And I think it's such a shame that the main focus of these posters is who's in them instead of the actual movie itself. Like, there's no Spider-Manning that is expressed in this poster whatsoever. You just see it's such a badly composed poster. Like, you literally have Tony Stark in the corner. You have Iron Man also in the poster. You have Peter Parker and Spider-Man. I feel like that's more understandable. But in the same sense, in the MCU, Tony Stark is already announced 10 years ago or whatever that he is Iron Man. So why do we need both of them on the screen? There's another thing that's more of an issue. Why are there two pictures of Iron Man and Tony Stark so large in this image when Vulture not only has more screen time, but also is the main villain of the movie? Why is he not the focus of the poster? I don't know. There's no Ned, there's no Liz, but instead Zendaya's on the poster. If I'm not mistaken, in Homecoming, Zendaya is barely in the film. Not even necessarily like as a love interest, but just generally speaking, she doesn't have as much significance to Peter's character in this movie. Happy's also on this list, but no Liz. Like, come on, man. And the thing that's interesting with this is that it happens with a lot of other movies as well. Like, I remember people talking so much about this poster when it first came out. The Dune poster tells me absolutely nothing about this movie. Nothing. It just has a grouped together floating head of all of these different actors and actresses in the top, and then you just have Timothée Chalamet at the bottom of the screen. Like, it doesn't tell me anything about the film. It doesn't even make me visually interested. It's just a collage of faces and a man in the sand at the bottom. There's nothing about it that gives me the impression that this is the movie I want to see in cinemas. Can we also talk about the absolute mess of a poster that the Infinity War movie has? It's so chaotic, and I don't understand why. Like, I think if you wanted to have this poster blown up to be like on a giant billboard, like, then I kind of understand it. But even then, there's way too much going on. They've literally got every single character from the movie on this poster. Why? I don't see the point. And especially when the entire movie's narrative is that it's Thanos' movie, not so much that it's the Avengers movie. So I don't really understand why there's so much emphasis on every single other character. It's so busy. It's a very busy poster. Now, I'm not saying busy posters aren't good ones. I'm just saying in this instance, why? Because if you look at the poster for Everything Everywhere All at Once, for instance, the title of the movie alone makes more sense for the poster to be extremely busy, because the entire film is a fever dream from start to finish. So it makes sense why there's then so busy and so much going on in the poster, because other than that, what's the point? I think a big part of it has to do with the success of previous floating head posters. Star Wars Episode 5 has arguably one of the most iconic posters in the history of cinema, not just because it's a floating head, but because it's not a busy poster. But one thing I just want to quickly stress is that an iconic poster doesn't necessarily make it a good poster. An example is the Jurassic Park poster. It's not necessarily a good one, but it's iconic. It's very simple, to the point, it makes sense. But then we have objectively bad ones. If you know anything about posters from any era, especially the 2000s and 2010s, you probably knew I was going to talk about this poster. What was 20th Century Fox thinking when they created these absolutely abysmal posters for X-Men First Class? What are these posters, guys? I just don't understand what brought them to the decision that this was a good idea for a poster. You know, I think even when it comes to these superhero films, there's just something about the way how some of these posters just are not great, because it feels like a lot of marketing expertise is not gone into this poster or making it, or any type of marketing for the movie, and that the majority of the budget goes towards things like CGI and things like paying off the really great actors they've got in for these movies, whatever it may be. They just miss in some areas because it's a boring poster. There's nothing exciting about it. One of my favorite types of movie posters is when the marketing team decides that they really want to make an impression for how the characters in the movies are. A poster is meant to kind of feed into the narrative or the archetype for the movie and for some of the characters that are in the film. I picked out 3 to talk about here. The John Wick 4 poster, in my opinion, is really simple, but is so well captured because it really shows the fact that John Wick is running out of time. You can see a hourglass that is replacing his tie with the bullets flowing through the hourglass. And that's so perfect. Next, and I think this is a poster that doesn't get enough conversation. I've not seen the film, but I know the background of the movie. We have the movie Glass, and in this poster, we have 3 different characters. I don't really know much about Samuel Jackson's character, so I won't speak on it. But I will speak on the other 2 because I do have my own adequate knowledge about Split and about Unbreakable. Naturally, each character is separated by shards of glass breaking into each section. James McAvoy's character having split personalities. His different personas are split across 3 different shards of glass. Fantastic. But that's not even a detail that impressed me most, is actually the section with Bruce Willis. Now, if you don't know, the movie that Bruce Willis comes from is much older than the other 2, but it's the movie Unbreakable. The whole concept of the movie is that he literally is invincible and cannot be harmed by anything, right? And his section of the poster, there's like a little scratch in the glass, but it's not broken. Perfect. Unbreakable. There we go. So this is an example of a poster that is well done to fit the narrative of the story and of these characters. Just based on the poster alone, that makes you want to watch the movie. The Ant-Man teaser posters, and in a lot of them, it's just being very, very small next to or being stood on top of Thor's hammer, these kind of things. They're great posters because they're so simple and it really encapsulates the character and the narrative of this character. I think that a lot of movies do mess this up, and it then makes me think it should be something simple, something that is not too complicated, doesn't show off too much of the plot. I want to go back to posters and talk about capturing your audience in like a very quick and simple way. Thumbnails for YouTube, something that is a difficult thing to tackle because it's a horizontal image, so you can't even attack it in the same way as movie posters or anything like that. But one thing I will say, you got to find a way to be able to capture and draw someone in, but also showing them exactly what they're looking for, or try and get them to see what they're going for with whichever video, or to the bigger scale, to a video or to a movie. It's important to know what someone's looking for, but also how to properly represent what's in your movie or your video to your audience. I've been trying to work a lot more on my thumbnails recently. So to have like a descriptive title and a very clear intention that I can show to you guys exactly what the video is going to be about. But these floating head posters, they don't do a good job at capturing anything related to, is the movie good? It's more about, this person is in this movie. You should watch it because these are good actors. But it's like, a good actor can still be bad in a movie. I think the best example is Jared Leto. He's been in quite a few bad movies. But is he necessarily a bad actor across the board? I wouldn't say so. You can have great actors in a movie, but if the acting direction is still not great, it's not going to be a good movie regardless. It's more important to give your audience something that they want to see through advertising it properly. All these press interviews, these interviews with GQ, however many Wired Ask Me Anythings that some of these celebrities do, that press is, on the one hand, it is kind of impressive, but like, if I'm turning up to a cinema or going to watch a movie, I'd like to see a poster that's going to convince me to watch another film. Anyways, guys, I think that's enough rambling. I've talked a lot about this video. It's something that I'm just like genuinely so enraged about as an artist, creator, graphic designer, all these different things. I try to be, but I don't know what to say anymore. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below about posters that gave you the same impression, because obviously there are some good ones. Maybe I'll do a video where I actually go one by one and review some. So yeah, give me as many suggestions as you guys think, and I'll go through and look at some and break some of them down and tell you exactly why, from maybe a more objective and real perspective of why some of these posters just don't work or why they're not good posters. I feel like that's actually quite a fun video I may try to do anyway. Let me know if you guys have any suggestions or anything you want to see from me in the future. But yeah, I'll see you guys in a bit. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for the next video. Catch you soon.